Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Week 7 preview coming up. Live call-in show. I should have a few guests tonight. And listen, I told you last week I was feeling confident. I'm feeling confident once again. In this notebook, I have the bets I will be posting on Patreon tonight. Check for those bets around 10:30. I am still waiting on the Friday injury reports to drop. They're rather late this week, so bear with me on Patreon. The bets will be posted tonight. I can't give a guaranteed time, but more research to be done. I want to thank everyone for supporting these videos, hitting the like button and following my Instagram. Last night on Instagram, I gave a money pick with the Cleveland Browns. Get on my Instagram. I'm not trying to do it to be cheeky. I'm not trying to do it because I love Instagram and I love posting photos. No, it's nothing like that. But if anything ever happens to this YouTube channel, let's say it gets deleted. I had a YouTube channel 4 or 5 years ago. I was up to 12K. Got deleted for no reason one day. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. I appreciate you guys helping me out there. And you guys have been absolutely phenomenal on Patreon. Listen, it's one thing to say, oh, I love the show, but you guys actually support the show. You hit the like button. Some of you go to Patreon, only $5 a month. People are saying, Lawson, bro, you got some of the best picks in the game. You're better than the professionals. Why do you only charge $5 a month? I only charge $5 a month because, listen, anyone who's trying to hustle you out of picks for like $50, $100, $150, for me, that's just baloney. It's baloney. And here's the reason. It's because they charge that price because they can't get that many people. It's a little bit different with us. We actually have a community and we all gamble and we all win money, or we try to win money. I win money. On Patreon, sometimes I get mad. Listen, on the last 11 NFL games, I'm 9-2. Yet people still manage to lose money. Listen, I love parlays, I love teasers, but single bets are where it's at, and single bets are how I make this money on Patreon. I'm not doing parlays every minute. Listen, we do the teasers every week, but the money to be made in gambling is single betting. It's single betting and doing 4 or 5 a weekend. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but that's why I don't have to work a regular job. And some of you guys are saying, Lawson, why don't you work a regular job? Listen, I had an offer, a 6-figure offer, not like 500K, like 100, 200, 100K to be a special education coordinator this August. And I wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. It was a large amount of money, but it's not worth the problems, especially when we're making this much money gambling. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed you guys put me in this position. I just had to say thank you guys, because you guys have been saying thank you to me a lot. I wanted to say thank you guys. Let me get to the Patreon questions. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Pedro? What's up, Mega? What's up, Brian Stevens? Yeah, dude, that Bills game, I felt bad about it. Like, listen, it felt good on Friday, and then we hit all the picks on Sunday. We hit all of them. I just had a bad feeling going into that Monday night game. What's up, Lauren? What's up, Lauren? Lauren was on the show last week. She called in last week. Appreciate all of you guys. Dude, I try to be a man of the people. Like the $5 Patreon, I think is a good indication of that. What's up, Nikisha? How's it going, Nikisha? I hope you have a great weekend. I hope everyone has a good weekend. What's up, NMC? I like this guy. I actually seen him on Instagram. He's a cool guy. Yeah, man, we're rolling on Patreon. Last night we hit the Browns one, and there was a little controversy on Patreon last night because, listen, I put on the Browns pick, but my friend Marty from Belize, he did call me. He did tell me that Charlotte +7 was a go-to. Anyways, that didn't go so well. You guys always ask for college picks. Listen, I even told them when I wrote it on Patreon, I said, like, listen, like, I never watched this team. I just want a little bit of action tonight. I'm going to be betting on the Browns, and I'm going to be betting this game. Not because I know anything about it, but because I trust him. Anyways, it didn't go so good. People got mad, but it is what it is, man. This man has hinted me in good directions before, but that's why you guys should just try to watch as much film as possible. And that's why I don't watch college football, because I can't possibly watch all the film and still bet soccer and NFL. So we got to know where our gravy trains are. Yeah, Marty, man. He didn't come up big last night. He called me with an apology today, but I don't think that helps. Anyways, it's all in the game. All right, let me get to the Patreon questions first. I got a Diet Pepsi. Have to get the energy up. Okay, let's get to the Patreon questions. Make sure you hit the like buttons. This is from Sean Gross. Hey Lawson, what are your thoughts on Indy Moneyline? I think fundamentally it's a sound bet. And I think the Colts are actually getting better. Now, I know that what happened with Baltimore, we were on the Colts +7, and we almost lost that game, but it doesn't mean it was a bad pick. The fundamentals were right. And listen, I get your fundamentals with the Colts against the 49ers, but I wouldn't go against the 49ers, especially in the money line situation. Like, if we're talking Colts +4, I think that's a good bet. And I got a little bit of a blind spot there. I don't have too many blind spots, but one blind spot I do have is going against anyone in the Shanahan family. It's always dangerous trying to go against them. But with that being said, I'm not feeling Colts money line. I'm feeling Colts +4. But and it's getting really bad for San Fran this week. They were absolutely mauled and killed by injuries last year, and it just seems like it's getting worse this year. We don't even know if Lance or Garoppolo is going to play. And I understand you getting confidence and wanting to jump on the Colts money line. But if you're going to work with the Colts, just go with the +4. Sometimes we don't need to get greedy. Jeff Jabroni with the super chat. Jeff, next time you send a super chat, send a question, because I appreciate the donation. And sometimes I miss a lot of questions. It's just because the YouTube thing moves really, really fast. So send your question again or send a super chat. Appreciate the donation, Jeff. Really appreciate it. And Jeff, my Instagram is Lawson Bets NFL. Follow me there. I'm up to 4,000 subscribers there now, so it's helping. And I'll post some food here and there, but mostly we just talk about football. Yeah, man, we gotta get the Diet Coke going, Steven. We gotta get the Diet Coke. There go D. What's up, D? Bucks aren't covering that 12.5 ? Question mark. No Robert Quinn, no Montgomery, plus Cleveland's defensive line wrecked Fields. The Bucks defensive line with 10 days to prep. Bucks a lock. I get you, but D, I got a little bit concerned when I saw the Buccaneers injury report today. Like, I'm with you. I was actually thinking about the Bucks -12.5. That was one of the games I needed to wait to see the Friday injury report, but the Friday injury report leaked, and it's not looking good. No Gronk, no Winfield Jr., no Antonio Brown, and yes, I don't think it's going to hamper the Buccaneers or it's anything big, but the Buccaneers got some dogs who are going to be sitting on the sideline as well. And here's why it's not a money pick. Like, if you go with it, I'm with you. I think it's good. I think this is one of the times where you have to disobey the rule. +9, +10. Normally you want to go with the points, but this is a time where I understand if you want to just disobey this rule, tear up the rule book and throw some money on Tampa Bay, but I wouldn't throw on a lot. Like, you're going to make what, 5, 6 single bets this week? Yeah, I'd make it one, but I wouldn't pump it really hard, if you know what I mean, because the Buccaneers are an inconsistent outfit. We know they're damn good. We know they're damn great. Last year, I picked them preseason to go to the Super Bowl, and I never wavered, even when they were like 6-6. Never wavered. Never wavered. But even with that being said, Tampa Bay's not a team that is in full gear 4 or 5 for a full 4 quarters. Yeah, if they want to, they could cover against the Bears easy. I just question how much they want to, how much they're going to show on defense. But dude, you're right. This Chicago offensive line's horrendous. And I think that is the key in this game. That's why I had to change my opinion, and I had to go Tampa Bay to win in the cover with the minus 12.5, because I did watch some of the Bears film this week. I watched the Raiders game, watched the game they played against the Packers. Dude, their offensive line is trash, so better beware. Let's get to this question from Josh. Hey, Mr. Moneyman, was curious if you were still feeling the Giants this week. At the beginning of the week, I loved the pick. Now it seems their injury list is getting bigger and bigger. Appreciate all the work, brother. Let's get paid. Josh, this is a great question, and I wanted to wait until I got Michael Mann on here, the Carolina fan, but we might as well just get into it right now. We'll get Michael on later to talk about the Carolina Giants game more in depth, but you just echoed my opinion. I was looking at the injury report an hour and a half ago, and I just was like, oh, bro, you can't take the Giants with the +3. The fundamentals are good. Don't get me wrong. And Carolina was about as bad as you could be last week against my Minnesota Vikings. And I'm not exaggerating. You can go turn on that film for yourself. Go watch the first 3 quarters of that game. It's an absolute monstrosity. Monstrosity. With that being said, though, no Kadarius Toney. Tony's the key to the Giants offense. Like, everyone still loves talking about like Saquon and Galladay. They're both out as well. But I think Kadarius Toney is the dog Daniel Jones needs to pull this upset, and he's not going to be there. And I don't like it. Just too many damn injuries on this Giants offense. Carolina's defense is good. They force turnovers. They get put in really bad situations. Okay. My mic went off again. My mic. I should be back now. Kyle, I absolutely love the Giants defense, especially their front 7 against their run. But my issue is I just don't see how the Giants can create enough points. Like, I love the Giants +3 from a fundamental perspective, but this injury report was absolutely, how can I say it? Just stunning. It's even worse than last week. So it didn't improve from last week. Let's just say that. Okay, this is from Daniel. Daniel says, good take on Case Keenum. My question, Mr. Money, is any thoughts on a team pulling an upset on one of these huge money lines? I'm feeling one of these double-digit underdogs winning outright. Okay, you're talking about the double-digit underdogs. Okay, let's just take a look at that real quick, what we're seeing at the moment. My mic again. I don't know what's going on with this mic. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this mic. So I'm going to have to change my mic. One sec. I'm going to use my USB audio device. It's probably going to be really loud, but that's the situation we're in. How bad is the mic, man? Let me know how bad this mic is right now, because I'm having to use my webcam. So we got Washington at 8. We got the Texans and Cardinals at like 16 and a half, 17, 18 and a half. That's all over the place. Yeah, dude, this mic's going to be shit, but it is what it is. I can't have it going off every single time when I'm trying to think. Really pisses me off. Anyways, I will be in the new studio in about a week or 2 weeks. I'm just waiting. I finally got my documents back, so I will be going back to Brazil. I will have a new studio. There won't be any problems with a mic. And then people can stop teasing me about the studio, because I know the studio's not pretty, but also, why are you watching this show for beauty? Like, come on now. I have a huge head and I yell at a camera. This isn't a beauty channel. Okay, let me get back to focus. But I mean, I guess, Daniel, like, you think one of these double-digit underdogs is going to win outright? If I had to choose one, I guess I would choose the Bears, because Washington's not 9.5, 10 anymore, like when the week opened. So I guess if you were putting a gun in my head, I guess I would choose the Bears. Maybe the Lions. I think the Lions could cover that, but the Lions are really, really bad right now. And a lot of people got high on a lot of people got high on the Rams for a lot of people got high on the Lions for no good reason. Okay, this is from Adam McCann. Any thoughts on a 3-team parlay? Yeah, I think a 3-team parlay is good, but I don't like making parlays the basis of your betting. I don't think that's how it should work. I don't think it's effective, and also it's not mathematically sound. When I bet parlays, I always tease them, or sometimes I'll do parlays if I'm just trying to practice gamble. I don't think a parlay is good for many other uses unless you're using it in a teaser. But if you're going a 3-team parlay, like let's say you put Chiefs money line, Buccaneers money line, Zona money line, or you add another game in there for Arizona, yeah, it makes sense. But also, you wouldn't want to go too crazy with that. And then with these parlays, you have to bet a lot to get a payout. What I do is a little bit different. A lot of people, like, they'll brag to me like, Lawson, look at this 3-team parlay I hit this week. It's like they had like the Broncos plus 30.5 last night. They had games like that. Like, okay, but I'm not doing that. I'm picking, it's either +3, it's either +2 Broncos or -2 Browns. That's how I have to make my money. But yeah, I like the parlays, man, a little bit. It's more an exercise. Okay, here we go. I'm getting to more questions on Patreon. This is from Steven Razvi. Yeah, baby, you were right when you said whoever's at running back will get yards and smash them. Great performance by the quarterback and money in the pot. The media doesn't know shit. I agree, because the media just wants to beat up on people like Case Keenum and Jacoby Brissett, and the media doesn't want to really watch the film and do the legwork and understand that, listen, Jacoby Brissett and Case Keenum and Ryan Fitzpatrick are better than a lot of young quarterbacks in this league, and they're better than a lot of old quarterbacks in this league. It doesn't mean they're top 10. It doesn't mean they're the second coming of Tom Brady, but it means they're competitive and they will help you win games. And it gets me mad when I see people in this league getting free passes. Josh Rosen, Joe Judge, People like that, people who get giving things without earning things. Sam Darnold starting at Carolina. I'm even starting to get to that point with Teddy Bridgewater. He just gets things he doesn't deserve because his stats come out good. Did I not tell you guys everything that would happen in that Broncos game? I literally painted that picture for everyone what would happen. And Teddy's got such a nasty receiving core. Like he's got 3 dogs at receiver. Any other quarterback would be eating and pumping that thing down the field. Dude, like, yeah, it's just people like Case Keenum don't get enough respect in this league. And that's one reason why I'm happy I have at least a little bit of a voice to correct some things. Because if you put a gun to my head, I don't know if I would start Baker or Case Keenum when both are healthy. I know no one wants to hear that. People are going to say, Lawson, you're nuts. Lawson, stay off the Delta 8. I get it. And, you know, sometimes I'm not even fighting against film or analysis versus analysis. I'm fighting perception. Like, yes, Baker has commercials. Okay, but that doesn't mean he can slang that rock better than Case Keenum. If Odell Beckham would have caught a few more passes last night, that game would have been over in the first half. Let's get to more Patreon questions. And guys, thank you for rolling in. Make sure you hit that like button as you roll in. I'll get some guests on soon. I want to get through some Patreon questions, work through some YouTube questions, send a super chat. It makes it easier for me to see your question on YouTube. Still working through the Patreon. Gabe Hammer has this. Ravens -5 versus Bengals. I guess. Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't bet the Bengals this week without teasing them down. At least 3 points. Giants +9 versus Panthers. A little bit risky, my man, after this injury report. Packers -1.5, like it. Titans -10.5. I don't think I would go that direction with the Titans. It makes sense. But with the Chiefs, isn't there always a risk of a blowout involved? And the only way you're going to lose that is if it's a blowout. So I would probably use those points and just go the other way on the Chiefs. I don't like going from minus to plus because you do lose a point in that transaction. But I think that's the best way to play that teaser, Gabe. Patriots -1 versus the Jets. You're going to have to go on that alone. It makes sense. I do think the Patriots are a good team to lay a teaser on this week. I think it's a similar situation with the Patriots. The fundamentals are good, but I am feeling something brewing with Zach Wilson. I was wrong last time. Haven't been wrong about a lot this year, but I will come on here and be honest with the audience. I got burned by the Jets against the Patriots this year, but I've been winning money betting against the Patriots too. So sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? Rams -10. I don't love it, bro. Raiders +3. Absolutely love it. Cardinals -11.5 versus Texans. Don't like it. Bucks -6.5 versus the Bears. Listen, I like it, but dude, you're not getting good value. You might as like -10 in this league to tease it down. You're just not going to get enough value. That's where I'm at. Brendan says, John, you're a gangster. What do you think about this teaser? Bears +26.5. Yeah. Lions +29. Yes. Begrudgingly. Bengals +20. Yeah, of course. Saints +8.5, 8.5. Yeah, Brendan, I like that. And he says that's for -130 odds. That's not bad odds. But, bro, Brendan, I would ask you to think about that Saints-Seahawks game a little bit. Like Saints with the 8.5, sure, that's probably going to hit, and that's fine. But if you're going to add those points, I think I would rather add them to the Hawks. Hawks are +5 right now. It looks like you're adding 14. So Hawks plus 19 at home, bro. Come on, bro. I like it. I like it either way. That's going to be a close game. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay, thank you guys for piling in the chat. Just working through these Patreon questions. I will be getting to YouTube questions soon. And sorry about the mic. I had to go with this mic. If it's too loud, let me know. Maybe we can adjust it. Okay, here we go. This is from Cole C. Eagles getting points on the road versus Raiders. Don't you think Philly will win outright? No, I don't. I don't think Philadelphia will win that game outright. There's elements I like from Philadelphia, but we have to look at this a little bit deeper. And I've watched a lot of Philadelphia Eagles this season. So and also there's stats to back all of this up. There's actually stats that judge coaches now. I don't like them a whole lot, but they also support what I'm saying here. So let me phrase this in the easiest way to understand. Nick Sirianni has been one of the worst coaches this year in terms of creativity and in terms of play design. And Hurts actually hasn't played that bad this year. He just hasn't. And the stats don't look good, but if you watch the film, Hurts actually isn't that bad, but they aren't getting separation. They're not using creativity. And Nick Sirianni just doesn't want to run the ball. He doesn't want to help Jalen Hurts out. And then on defense, they drop 8, they rush 4. They don't do a lot of zone blitzes. They don't do a lot of twist on the defensive line to create pressure. Their defensive line is good, but their defensive line is very, very old. As this year goes on, you'll see the Eagles' defensive line production fall off. I think the Raiders just pound the ball on them. I absolutely love the Raiders. Latifa, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you too. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Next time, send it with a question. So, because I want to make sure you get your question. Okay, here we go. All right. Let me get to more Patreon questions. This is from Pedro856. What's up, Pedro? Saw you in the live chat on YouTube. Appreciate it, my man. Lawson, I want to roll with the Packers, Patriots, Panthers, and Dolphins in a 4-team parlay. Thoughts? Are we talking money line or are we talking against the spread? Patriots money line. Packers money line, Panthers money line, and Dolphins money line. That's what I would do. If you need to hit up the odds a little bit more, maybe add in I would do this. I would go Dolphins 2.5. I wouldn't take Dolphins money line just to be safe. You always want to be more safe, especially with parlays. Yeah, I like that one, but I don't know if it will hit. This is from Rajay Murray. Yo, John, what do you think about Saints versus Seahawks over 30 points? I like it, but it'll go over 30 points. Bengals, Ravens over 34.5. Worst case scenario, Bengals, Ravens is a 2017 game. So I think you'll be safe. Giants, Panthers over 30.5. Worst case scenario, you could lose that one. But yeah, it should go over. Jets versus Patriots over 30. Yeah. Indy versus San Fran over 32. Yeah. And Rajay says it's all total points for 1,500. You might hit that. There. Let me just give you some feedback, though. If I had to take a game out of here, I would take Indy and San Fran out because I have fear that one of those teams might not show up. Like when we're thinking about this Indy San Fran game, we're thinking competitive, fourth quarter, lots of running the football. Like we're thinking like 2014, 2017, but there is a possibility one of these offenses doesn't get over 10 points. So I just want to protect you. Let's get to let's get to next question from Andrew Novoa. Heavy rain in San Fran on Sunday, Rajay. So I'll look towards the under. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Andrew. Good point on Patreon. We got some smart people on Patreon. We got some people who are obsessed with weather on Patreon. I get messages on Patreon where one guy, he breaks down the weather and how it affects the spread. Like, it helps me, and sometimes I like reading it. But yeah, this dude, like, he has autism about weather. And I'm not talking about Andrew. He's not the one who sends me the messages. But some of the messages I get on Patreon are straight, like, weather autism, if you understand. Like, every single detail, wind count, humidity, barometer level. Like, it's some funny shit, man. But it helps. It helps. So that's a good piece of information right there. Brian DePaul, what's up, Brian? Any scenario you see Green Bay losing? Yes. But I don't see a big chance because Taylor Heineke's trash. But they had Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah. Also, how do you think San Francisco manages Lance and your boy Jimmy G moving forward? What would you do? Thanks, man. Here's the situation with Jimmy G. They have to move on to Trey Lance as soon as possible. Go watch that game film, Cardinals versus 49ers. 49ers was just an inch from winning that game. Play in the third quarter, Lance stuffed, just an inch short, and that changed the game. 49ers should have won that. People need to have that perspective when I say this. Jimmy G needs to be discarded. I don't think he's good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he wants it enough. Like, you could say, like, Jimmy G might have more physical talent than a Case Keenum or Cam Newton, but I wouldn't take him above Case Keenum or Cam Newton. Would you? Like, honestly, would you guys? Look at what Cam Newton did last year with a Patriots offense that had no skill position players, a young offensive line, and all that. And look at what Case Keenum did last night, not playing in 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What do you mean? It wasn't just that one play. How wasn't it the one play? It was third quarter. Lance rolled out. He ran for like 8 yards. He got stuffed on the goal line. If he would have had one more inch, they would have been in the lead. And Kyler Murray didn't do anything that second half on offense. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Anyways, I gotta get Michael Mann on. I'm gonna get him on soon. I gotta work through the Patreon questions. Wanda Brown, thank you for the $5. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Leo Bellera, Money Law, what do you think about this teaser? Packers -2, Ravens -0.5, Colts +10. Let me think. I like the Packers. Does the Ravens one need to be there? Colts +10. It's just, listen, I bet Cincinnati last week, and we won that Cincinnati game easy. There's a lot of doubters last week. A lot of the, I got questions like this. A lot of the sharp money was on the Lions. The sharp money was on the Broncos last night. The sharp money. Listen, I think the Ravens win the game, and that's fine to tease it down. But let's not get greedy trying to take from the Bengals because they're getting it more explosive on offense. And their offensive line starting to play better. So, like I said, I would hold caution at the win. And what has changed with the Ravens? Like, nothing's changed for me with the Ravens. Listen, I've rated the Ravens the same all year. Like, remember when everyone was going against the Ravens when they were playing at Denver a few weeks ago? I just don't know what changed with the Ravens. Maybe that comeback got everyone hyped, that blowout last week of the Chargers. But I think you have to look at that blowout of the Chargers as an outlier. I don't want to make excuses, but at times you have to look at stuff as outliers, and you just can't take it too seriously. Like, I don't even know if the Ravens are the best team in that division right now. This is from Cowboy CED. KC minus 4.5. I love KC this week. I liked them last week. I was about to put them on Patreon Sunday at 12 o'clock, but I couldn't pull the trigger. Lions plus 16. It's a little bit risky. It's a little bit risky, man. Like, the fundamentals say Lions, but they've looked really bad the last few weeks. They completely gave the Bengals that blowout. Bears plus 11.5. Nah, man, I don't like that one. It's just, I like the Raiders minus 3. I would stick with KC and Raiders minus 3. And I will be I do have a few I think you could use, but like they're Patreon only. So I don't want to give too many suggestions, but you'll see Friday Night Cowboy. You'll see. Should be posting them like 10 o'clock. Like, okay, let me get through these Patreon questions. Money. Brian says, give me your best 4-team 13-point teaser. I don't know, bro. I can't do that off the top of my head, but it would be something similar to the teaser I posted. But let me see if I'll post something on Patreon this weekend. Herm, I heard rain and win for Colts 49ers. How much do you like the under? Let me take a look at the under at the moment. Yeah, let's go see this under. 43. Yeah, I like it. But just so you know, even with the rain, I think this is like a 2017 game, 2014 game. So yeah, I don't have any problems with it. Johnny Gonzalez, big fan of parlays with a couple money lines and a safe spread pick. I agree. I like those. But yeah, I'm not a huge parlay guy myself. Leaning Dolphins money line and Giants money line. Who would you recommend in a toss with these two? I would take Dolphins money line. We're getting Michael Mann on here in a little while. I gotta get him on here because I think he needs to go somewhere. But yeah, like it's just the Giants injury report was absolutely brutal this week, and that's what's changing my opinion. Listen, I haven't liked what's been going on in Miami this whole year, whether it be Tua, whether it be coaching, but I think Miami finally does something this week. This is from Tim. Moneyline parlay, Tampa, Rams, Packers, Zona. What do you think? Zona, yeah. Packers, yeah. Rams, yeah. Tampa, yes. I think, Tim, I think the only way you get screwed on that money line parlay is with the Packers, but it's going to be hard for Washington to pull that upset. I actually really like that money line parlay. Let me just say that again. This is from Tim. Money line parlay, Tampa, Rams, Packers, Zona. Pretty good. I mean, in NFL, something always will go wrong on a parlay. That's why I mostly do single bets, and I always push the single bets to you guys. And I do my teaser every week with 6 or 7. This is from There Go D again. I don't know how you were on New York Giants. So does Jones just not need a running game? D, I don't know if you watched the Panthers last week, but Sam Darnold, he will give you the ball. And he will give you the ball in good places. And then his defense does get tired. So that's a problem. Any offense can score against a tired defense in this league. If you could put Zach Wilson and the Jets against a tired 86 Bears defense and they would score. But yeah, man, I'm off the Giants. We're going to get Michael Mann on here to fully go on that. This is from Lauren Kaiser. What's up, Lauren? What do you think about Cincinnati and Philly with the points? I like them both. I like Cincy. I think the Cincy one similar to our Baltimore pick. It should have been an easy bet. We won, but it should have been a lot easier than that. Cincy, I like them, and Philly, I don't like them. And I already went off on Nick Sirianni a lot, but listen, there is always a letdown. You do get an emotional boost. You do see better play. You do see better play when the first week of the interim coach. You do see a reaction, a psychological reaction, more physical play, but usually that next week is kind of like a letdown. But I'm telling you, Nick Sirianni's not a good coach, and he shouldn't have got his job. Like, I don't like beating a dead horse about, like, Joe Judge getting jobs or Nick Sirianni getting jobs. But yeah, man, it's not a good look on the NFL. I'm not even trying to say anything like people are getting jobs. I'm not even trying to say anything like that or go political, but dude, it's tough to defend when you see people like Joe Judge and Nick Sirianni get jobs because they just aren't good enough. Okay, we got a few more Patreon questions. Hey, I had the 13-point teaser last week. Yeah, my number one best play, Moneyline under 300 point spread over. Yeah, Kyle, I'll mark my best play. But when I post the games, like everything I post on Patreon, I'm betting single. Just so you guys know. I'll tell you if I'm betting a low amount, but normally I bet single and it's a pretty heavy bet. But I spread it around, and normally that's how you're able to make money with this. All right, I'm getting Michael Mann on. All right, we're going to get Michael Mann on real quick. We're going to get some more guests on today. If Lauren wants to come on, she can come on. I don't know what her schedule is. I wasn't able to get on Instagram today too much. So we're going to get Michael Mann on. Mike, I'm going to send it to your email. You really pissed me off with that Trey Lance thing, though. You really pissed me off. But anyways, let's get to it. Yeah, because dude, Darnold, finally people are starting to talk about Darnold in the media, man. I've been just kind of shitting on Darnold since the beginning of this year. And the media was loving Darnold those first 3 or 4 weeks. All right. Let's get Michael Mann on here. Michael Mann's coming on. Okay. Joseph Garcia's just joined Patreon. Felice Gonzalez just joined Patreon. Felix, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Tony Johnson. Wanda Brown joined this week. Thank you, Mr. Encarnacion, for joining. Appreciate everyone commenting on Patreon. Shout out to Micah Rodriguez. He's just joined Patreon right now. Okay, I sent the link to Mike. And then once I get through the guests, we're going to go full bore on these YouTube questions. Let me get to, I think someone left a new Patreon question. I don't want to miss anyone. One sec. Okay, Satan Stone. Washington, Detroit, Houston, Chicago, all of the same shit. Yeah, it really is kind of the same shit. And I would caution people before you start playing with these high point spreads, because for me, it's not even like gambling. Like, is it really gambling like Detroit plus 18? Like, I think I would rather gamble like how much like a chicken will cross the street in a 3-hour period. Like, but that's just me. We all have different things we like. Andrew, I like this question. And do you think the Dolphins are the best spread play this week? I wouldn't say they're the best spread play, but I think they're a good spread play. Like, listen, we can't say they're the best spread play because we have to sell Tua. That's what we have to sell. And I'm not here selling Mitsubishis in a used car lot. I'm not going to try to sell you on Tua, and I can't possibly sell you that Miami plus 2.5 is the best bet, but I like it. I got a good feeling on it. Falcons coming off a bye week. Yeah, that's kind of dangerous, right? Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I sent this to Mike. Here we go. Let's okay, I sent it to Mike. We'll see if he gets it. Tasha, under first half bets. Yeah, dude. Tasha, I don't know if you've been, because I know you watch a good portion of the videos. I have been trying to work that in. Like, if I have a good read on the first half in the over-unders or the spreads, I try to tell you that. Like, for instance, I did tell you guys last week I'd like the Philadelphia Eagles to cover in the first half. And another thing with the Carolina Panthers, they're a team. I don't think they covered last week in the first half, but the Carolina Panthers have covered every single game in the first half lines. So it's always something we should be looking at. And it's something I try to remind you guys about during the videos on the week. Does it always work out? No, but sometimes it helps. Amir, I don't bet the NBA. I don't bet it, bro. I have to watch enough of it, and you guys probably know more about betting NBA than me. I imagine it's a nightmare betting NBA because I can't gauge motivation. And how much does watching film help in the NBA? Like, does it? Like in NFL, I feel like I can watch film and I can get different information. With NBA, you just don't even know who's going to play this day. Okay, I'm waiting for Michael Mann to come on, but let me see if I got any more Patreon questions. Here we go. Anyways, guys, I got to get a glass of water. I'll be right back. Now, we're at the 45-minute mark. Yeah, bro, we're probably going to go a full 2 hours today. So if you haven't gotten your question answered yet, just stay tuned. Going to get some guests on. If you want to come on, hit me up on Instagram. I'll be right back. Just got to get a little bit of water. Okay, here we go. Oh, Michael Mann's on. Okay, let's get Michael Mann on, then I'm going to get back to the questions. Yes, Lawson Bets NFL is my Instagram. That's the best place to reach me. Even if you are on Patreon, just hit me up on Instagram and make sure you follow. Because Michael Mann can attest. One time, my YouTube channel did get deleted for no reason.
Oh,
what's up? Shoot. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. So, dude, we got to get right to the Panthers Giants game. I think this is one that has taken me on a roller coaster this week. Let me just explain. I think someone summarized it good in the comment section. The initial read was Giants +3. But as this week is going on, and when I saw that Giants injury report today, if you have to make a play in this game, isn't this Carolina, even though there's just a non-functioning entity right now on offense?
Yeah, I mean, I was probably going to pick the Panthers regardless, but I mean, I am a fan, but from top to bottom, I just think the Panthers are more talented, but that offense, we got to talk about that Vikings game first, I think. That Panthers-Vikings game from both sides was it was an atrocity. I've never wanted to turn TV off so bad in my life.
Yeah, bro. I remember you sent me a message in like the third quarter. You're like, I just want to cut this game off. It was long. The first half was actually boring.
It was close too, so you couldn't turn it off. It's not like it was a bad game, like this, like in terms of the score. It was close, but it was just disgusting football. Like both teams tried their very best to lose and couldn't, and we had to go to overtime.
That's why I'm happy the Vikings are getting a bye week this week. I feel like you guys could use one too.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
we gotta wait till like week 14 or something.
Yeah, you guys got really jobbed on that one, and I guess so. You saw the Giants injury report today, right?
Yes, pretty much every impact player they have is out on offense, at least. Tony being out, I think, is big. Galladay's out. I believe Saquon's out too. So pretty much anyone who could do damage to us, I feel like on offense is going to be gone, and you're just going to be leaving Daniel Jones back there to do it himself. And versus our pass rush, I don't like that formula.
No, Giants can't. They haven't fixed the offensive line yet. They just haven't. And the offensive line was looking a little bit better this year because Saquon did come back. They had more run-pass balance. But listen, I'm not worried about Golladay. And you know what? I can live without Saquon Barkley. I could live without it, and the 3 with the Giants could help. But honestly, the 3's not really helping because no Kadarius Toney. I think that was the biggest name on the injury report.
And also, if the Giants, I don't know if you watched that Rams game, but they just look so psychologically done. Like that what's his name? Cooper Kupp touchdown. Like they pretty much just let him in. Like they just, it looks like the defense. It looks like the same problem that we have where the defense is on the field too long and they get exhausted.
That's why I had to come on here and say, listen, you could have the best defense in the league, but if you're on the field too long, you're just not going to be competitive. And I got to ask you a question. Listen, the whole read on this game was because of how bad Carolina's offense was against the Minnesota Vikings. And who's the backup quarterback options for the Panthers right now?
Well, PJ Walker's in there, but if I got to be honest, look, I can't even put that whole game on Darnold. Don't get me wrong, he played like crap in the first half. But no one's been trashing on Joe Brady, and no one has been trashing on those Carolina receivers, which almost set an NFL record for passes dropped in the game. So I feel like we really need to, look at that aspect of it because Joe Brady's play calling was so vanilla in that game. They didn't run the ball at all, even though it was working better in the pass game. Our receivers couldn't catch anything. Darnold was clearly off in the first half, and they just kept trying to chuck it deep and surprised it wasn't working.
Can I give you my analysis?
Sure, yeah.
I felt like Jonathan Vilma hit it head on the telecast. He actually did go after DJ Moore. But
yes, and Robbie Anderson too. I appreciate that.
No, he's a very good announcer, and I like how he comes on and he just wants to talk football. It's really refreshing. And his analysis was, okay, everything's underneath. Everything's within 15 yards. Even Breland was knowing, you got to try to run by Breland. So you're right. It was a sloppy adjust from the Panthers because everything gets played in a box with them. And I can't understand. I'm not comparing Sam Darnold to Bridgewater, but I think we're starting to see some of those elements creep into his game. And I think there is a lack of confidence. Bro, why does Sam Darnold try to run it every time? And listen, we can talk about coaching. We can talk about Brady. We can talk about Matt Rule. Brady's going to walk into an NFL head coaching job next year, whether we like it or not. Nick Sirianni has a job. Joe Judge has a job. So, I'm going to defend Joe Brady a little bit, but I get what you're saying. They needed a double move with DJ Moore desperately. It was there all
They did at the end, though. I'll give him credit for that. I thought Brady and Darnold were excellent on the final drive of the game. And for all the crap Darnold's getting, for the game overall, that final drive they had was a masterpiece. And even though his stats looked bad in the fourth quarter, he had about 5 drops in that quarter alone. Heck, on the last drive, we almost blew it because DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson were dropping passes.
But Mike, a quarterback can't start the game 4 for 17 or 4 for 18, whatever he was. And I don't know if it's a coaching issue because Panthers, they're not blocking good up front. I'll give Darnold that. I'll give him that. But the Panthers do have pretty good play designs, and he's able to dip right quite a bit, and he's rolling right. And listen, you can check out the All 22. I'm going to be honest. I didn't watch the All 22 with the Vikings. I wouldn't expect anyone to have to sit through that again. But you can't tell me when he's rolling right, there are options to pump it. With that receiving core, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like after that first interception where he had about 10 seconds to throw, it was probably the best blocking our O-line has done all year.
It was. And Mike, are you still there?
Yeah,
okay,
sorry, I cut out for a second. But no, I think he got rattled in the first half.
Sorry for talking over you. Question. McCaffrey, he's not I already know this, but McCaffrey's not playing, right?
Yeah, he won't be back for another at least another 3 weeks.
Do you think he's milking it?
No, I think it's our medical staff, if I gotta be real with you. They've been, dude, I don't mean to get conspiratorial with you, but they've done some shady stuff over the years with injuries. People get hurt, and it's always the worst possible outcome of the injury. Greg Olson's foot that he broke 1 million times. Why does his foot keep breaking? Why can't we figure that out? Cam's
And they
shoulder.
kept bringing him back 2 weeks. Then he would miss more time rushing him back.
Yeah, why does Luke Kuechly get concussions all the time? And then why did he retire on the third one? Because he didn't trust the staff. Let's look at Cam's foot. Why did we play Cam after he had clearly had a foot injury and he literally couldn't run? Why is he getting thrown in the game? And this is the thing that's been happening for years, and it hasn't been called out at all. I think there's something going on back there, and I really think they tried to bring him back too early. And with the hamstring, you can't do that.
Medical staff is extremely important, and it's something you can't overlook in any sport, especially sports like Major League Baseball, NFL, and soccer, because they're so injury intensive and they're so long. You have to know what you're doing with the injuries. So we're both on the Panthers. I would tell people, though, to go Panthers money line. We can't trust the Panthers with the
I wouldn't even touch it if I got to be real. Because, their offense that's hard to really rely on them to cover a spread.
Yeah, man. And one thing you did mention, and this probably won't be a big factor against the Giants because they're good in the front seven, but the Hubbard, the rookie, is he a rookie or a second-year guy?
He's a rookie.
He's actually running good, though.
Yeah, and they only gave it to him 10 times, 13 times or something like that. And they decided to throw with Darnold more, even though no one could do anything in the pass game.
Yeah, exactly.
But Rule did come out and say that they're going to try to run the ball more this week, and that's an area where the Giants do struggle. So that I started Hubbard in fantasy at desperation. I'm hoping that pays off.
It will pay off, but anyways, I just want to see the Panthers use the run game to set up play action and try to work it down the field that way. Because, listen, the thing about Robbie Anderson, I agree with what you're saying. Some of it has to be coaching because Robbie Anderson, he doesn't live in the 1 to 12 yard range. He does his damage when he's outside of that range, and they're not getting him in that range. And they're asking him to make hard catches in traffic on 3rd and 6, and that's not really his game. So,
yeah, I'm with you there. I really don't know why we're not sending him deep more. They did it week 1 versus the Jets, and other than that, they've been trying to run him between the short and intermediate range ever since, and I don't get it.
Yeah. And so what other games are you looking at this week?
Seahawks Saints. You think the Seahawks have a chance to cover?
Yeah, dude. I really like the Seahawks +5. Really like the Seahawks +5. And it's the same thing as last week we were saying. I think we talked about the game last week, and we like the Seahawks to cover even in a worse situation. I think they cover, and it's not me hating on the Saints. It's just how explosive is the Saints team, really? I think they're going to take a little bit of a step up, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that Washington game, play action, Jameis hitting tight ends 40 yards down the field.
Yeah. It's pretty easy when receivers just running wide open. I'll tell you what, that Seahawks defense better show up, though. They better not, have a letdown week like they sometimes do. Because Sean Payton will let you up.
Carlos Dunlap is someone who needs to show up for the Seahawks because that defense, I worry about them because they can't rush the passer. They can't. So.
Yeah, and they'll actually give Jameis time. They need to confuse him with their coverages and then force him to actually hold the ball for a second. Because every time, I feel like when I've watched the Saints a whole lot, every time I see Jameis, he's always throwing to his first read. Rarely have you actually seen him sit there in the pocket and look through each of his options. And I want to see more of that.
They're going to need to do more of that because they're going to end up in the playoffs this year. I'm calling it right now. So, but in the playoffs, you're going to need to be 3-4 options on every single play. It's going to heat up. So you like the Seahawks +5?
Yes.
Look. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about their defense, but what this Sean Payton team wants to do. They want to pound it. And at least with the Seahawks, you got 2 good linebackers who can support the run. Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is playing, right? Yes.
I think so. Yeah. I know I didn't see him get hurt. He dropped the pick at the end of that Steelers game.
Dude, so I guess since you got a good look at the Eagles last week, we might as well ask your opinion on it. Philly +3 at Vegas. A lot of people are showing instincts to go Philly +3. And I like Philly more than most people. But can we just be honest and say that Philly isn't a well-coached team.
I agree. I mean, honestly, like, okay, I looked at Philly a lot before the Panthers played them, and they don't run the ball enough at all. Like, Miles Sanders is arguably their best player on offense, and they hardly use him.
Just don't run it at all. And the creativity's bad for Hurts. They're like, listen, I don't like the creativity and how they set up Hurts to succeed. It's terrible.
And they only throw like screen passes or slants. There's nothing. They don't make a defense account for every part of the field. They just stick to the short for the most part, and it's not working.
Well, and here's another thing. They have like some of the lowest levels of motions in the league. They have some of the lowest levels of misdirection in the league. Like, what are they doing? And even on defense, it's the same thing every single play. Rush 4, drop 8. Like, listen, it's fine. And I understand Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham can still ball, but that's not enough for me. It's just not enough going on there.
Yeah. Well, I really think that they lost a step after Brandon Graham got hurt. I think he tore his ACL in like week 2 or something, and ever since their defense just hasn't been the same.
Yeah, and they
look good against us, but that's just because our O-line is trash.
Yeah, and you can rush 4 against Carolina, and get there, and so yeah, I guess we're in agreement there. I see a lot of money going with the Eagles, but I don't think it means
I disagree with it.
Yeah, and people were saying the same thing last night. They're saying, "Oh, the money's on the Broncos." Like, what does that even mean?
I mean, it shows what team has a fan base is what it shows.
Yeah, especially now. Like 5 years ago, like when we first started getting into this, I could understand that stuff. But now there's so many average Joes betting that, I think it's easier to gamble now than it was 5 years ago. It's just because the average Joe's in the mix.
Yeah, and there's more opportunity. You find, it's more accessible for people to do it. But
yeah, bro. And any other games you got to read on this week? Did you have a problem with anything I said on the show this week? Do you think I was a little bit hard on Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's all his fault. I feel like there's more blame to go around. I was honestly like, I know one drive doesn't define a game, but something we've seen from Darnold in New York, that when he has a bad first half or a bad interception early, it typically just results like in a spiral meltdown, and he kind of just collapses. He didn't do that against the Vikings, and that impressed me. Like, that last drive was a masterpiece.
Yeah, but also, it was like 4:45 Eastern time. Minnesota was out in the sun all day.
Our defense was on the field for like 40 minutes, dude.
I know, but your defense has more depth than the Vikings defense. The Vikings just have 5-6 elite players.
I don't know. You were cooking our safeties. Cousins was cooking our safeties late in the game. I've never seen a defense give up 574 yards of offense and left the game saying they played well. But that's just how bad the offense was.
Yeah, and that's why you have to watch the games. That's why stats mean nothing in this game. They mean a little bit, but anyways. Any other games you got a good read on this week? Before you tell me what you want to talk about, I got to ask your opinion on this. Atlanta at Miami, Miami plus 2.5. Do you think I'm crazy for flirting with Miami?
Dude, I don't, but I don't like to bet on spreads where there's bad teams involved because you just don't know who's going to show up. Like, I mean, that's a coin toss. Like, Miami's what, -3 right now, you said?
Atlanta's
-2.5. Okay, all right, yeah. So it's basically a coin toss pretty much. One factor I do like to it is that Atlanta's having to leave the dome and go play in the sun in Miami. So I feel like that'll help us out if I remember correctly. I believe the game is in Miami, right?
Yeah, it's in Miami.
Yeah. The Dolphins should win, but you really just don't know which team's going to show up. Like, I really don't enjoy touching spreads with bad teams.
I agree. And for Antonio, I didn't put the Giants on the teaser, if I remember correctly. But if you're at Giants plus 10, you should be safe against Carolina, right?
I really don't know, dude. I mean,
Carolina did run the Saints out of the building. But
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say if the Panthers turn it on, because the Giants' defense is bad, by the way. They're really bad on defense.
Secondary bad.
Yeah, and they give up big plays a lot. Like if they get in a groove, I could see Carolina winning by more than 10 points. But I would if you're throwing out a teaser, I would bet Carolina. Just like I don't know if you could find it like Panthers like +7, +10, something like that. I don't think they'll get blown out, but I think there's potential for the Giants to get blown out.
I agree.
I can still see us losing though.
The teaser, because listen, when I did the teaser, it was a better situation for the Giants, but still, there's a risk of them getting blown out. And let's talk about the Chiefs Titans real quick. People were wondering, why didn't you do the Titans like +11.5 or the Titans +10? Because for that game, listen, there's a good possibility Titans make that a close, scrappy game. I don't think so, but there is a possibility. But one possibility that always looms is when you got a bad secondary and you can't rush the passer and Pat Mahomes is coming in, there has to be a risk of blowout no matter how good or bad the Chiefs are playing.
Yeah, I get the thinking behind it because the Titans have the formula on offense to put up more than 30 and to keep themselves in the game. I don't see the Chiefs playing well at all in terms of defense, and they'll probably have a good day against the Titans defense, but it's hard to trust the Chiefs defense right now with how bad they've been. And you know Derrick Henry's going to be coming at you 30 times a game, so it's really hard to know what they're going to do.
You got a read on Colts 49ers?
No, I don't. That's a coin toss. I don't know what the Colts are going to do. And I will say about what I said about Trey Lance, I was with you on that because the 49ers had a legit shot to win that game against the Cardinals. Like they had multiple fourth down opportunities where they came up just short, and if they had converted some of those, I think they would have won.
Yeah, because I misunderstood you. But yeah, dude, they really should have won, and that's where I'm left scratching my head with this game because we can both agree the Colts are getting better. How better that better is, I don't know how to define it. It's probably not too good, but we at least know they're getting better. With the 49ers, bro, you never want to go up against them after a bye week. I do get nervous with this +4.5 from the Colts, though. It seems like a good play on paper, but I don't think it will materialize like people think.
Do we know who's playing quarterback for the 49ers?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, because there's an issue.
Yeah. Listen, it's hard, man. These Friday injury reports, dude, these people in the media, they're getting lazy. These Friday injury reports, for some teams, they leak out like 2-1. But, bro, a lot of teams haven't even released the Friday one yet. I have to wait till like 10 o'clock. So.
And so many teams are making up crap on those injury reports, too. Like we said, Christian McCaffrey was doubtful to play, but we still left the window open just so the Eagles thought he was going to play. Like stuff like that. People just have people like questionable or doubtful just to screw with the other team.
Yeah. And so thank you for everyone in the chat. It seems like they're saying Jimmy's starting, and dude, it's just the wrong direction for the 49ers because eventually you have to change the era. And say what you will about Trey Lance. We'll get your opinion on Trey Lance, but listen, if you invest that high a pick in a quarterback, eventually you have to put him in. And we know Kittle's hurt, so he doesn't have the security blanket. I don't know when Kittle's coming back. I can't keep track of the IR. The IR is just bullshit. The IR doesn't even mean anything anymore. It doesn't.
Because they put it in so they could it's like the 3 week you're in 3 weeks. They installed that because of COVID last year, but now everyone's going on IR and coaches are just taking advantage of it. Like IR used to be like, should break up.
Yeah, like IR, you used to be able to cross someone out. Like, but you know how that goes. Do you have a read on any other games this week?
No, I'm good. I think I pretty much got everything. I'm left scratching my head about a lot of these spreads this week. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah. Well, what do you think about Cincy +6.5?
The thing about Baltimore is that they like to keep teams around. I feel like except for last week where they killed the Chargers, they like to keep teams around and they'll start slowing games. And against the Bengals, that could cost them.
I agree. I agree. And I think Baltimore comes out good and focused, but I don't think they come out and blow anyone out. But
Yeah, I agree.
But Mike, thanks for coming on. And yeah, and I don't like any of these big point spreads this week. I don't got to read on any of them.
I like the Rams one. That's about it because the Rams will slaughter people. Like the Rams typically don't hold back and take their foot off the gas, which is why I like them. Like you'll see teams like the Packers and the Chiefs, they'll do that. They'll let teams come back in games, but the Rams are just cutthroat and they'll keep coming after you the whole game, which is why I like them. So,
Mike, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Good luck watching that Giants Panthers. That's going to be a doozy.
Oh, that's going to be so bad. I'm not looking forward to it.
All right. See you. Have a good one, man.
All right. Bye.
All right. Let's get to some YouTube questions. All right, guys. I want to just get some water. Then we're going to go for like an hour. I'm going to get through all these YouTube questions. Thanks for being patient. Hit the like button. Make sure you check out my Patreon, $5 a month. You can see every game I bet. We've been killing it on Patreon. We've been just ripping it up on Patreon. Listen, this week's going to be crazy because of all these big point spreads, but we'll find a way. Want to go get some more water? I'll be right back. Thank you, guys. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay, let me get to the Patreon questions. Let's get it in. I was looking for my other vape. Can't find it, but let's go. Okay. Send in the questions. If I missed your question earlier, just send it in again. We're going to get these. We're going to get these YouTube questions, and then we're going to get off. Okay. Yeah, Jonathan, I got a really good read on the Vegas Raiders. I know most people are excited about the Eagles this week. And listen, we like the Eagles more than most people, but I don't like the Eagles in this situation. I don't think they have good enough coaching. Also, I think the way they attack this Eagles defense, yes, you can attack their secondary, but I think the better way is to run the ball down their throat and to limit their pass rushers, because the Eagles still like to use the Y9 scheme on defense. So I really feel like if you run the ball, you pound it on them, you control time of possession, I think you can beat them. And my problem with the Philadelphia Eagles offense isn't really Hurts. It's their lack of running the ball. I've been saying it all year. It's looking even more apparent now. Like, what do they have? Like 4 or 5 runs the whole game against the Dallas Cowboys? That's not good enough. What's up, Al? What's up, Al? Lauren, I like KC, but you'll read more about that on Patreon, I think. Okay. Jets +7. Yeah, this is one I want to do it, but the Jets +7 is something I really want to do. My instincts are taking over, and I guess my instincts ever since Tom Brady left the Patriots, even Tom Brady's last year there, was to bet against them because you get good value betting against the Patriots. Brian Webb, how do you guys feel about Tennessee and KC? Yeah, I think we'll see what the comment section says. Christina R., is there any possibility on your mind that the Jets can upset the Patriots off a bye week? Yes, Christina. There absolutely is. And I'm really feeling it, but I don't think I have the evidence to back it up. I did watch the Jets Falcons. I did watch the Jets Titans. And of course, we've been betting against New England. So I watched those games. Man. Jets should be able to do it because people are forgetting that the Patriots are a very tired football team. They're not beat up because a lot of the injuries were on their offensive line. I think they got 2 starters back, still have 1 starter out. Don't quote me, but we're seeing New England. I think they're kind of worn down. Look at that game against the Texans. Look at that game against the Cowboys. Look at that game against the Buccaneers. So I feel like they're getting a little bit tired. Now, this game is at Foxborough. So Jets +7 looks better than Jets Moneyline, of course. And I think there's a reason. Even the Patriots bettors, even they're a little bit cautious this week. They're agreeing with me. Hey, let's tease this one down. Yeah, let's tease it. Patriots are going to kill them, but yeah, they're still teasing it down. And I think that says an awful lot, Christina, for me. Yeah, my instincts are Jets +7, but betting it is a whole different thing. Listen, I get on here, I brag too, because the picks are really good and I've been really good at picking for 3 or 4 years. Been doing this my whole life, but I'll come on here and I'll tell you when I got burned. I got a case of chlamydia betting the Jets on week 1 on Patreon. I'll admit it. I'm not proud of it, but it happened. And you live, you learn. So they should be, they should be able to. They should be able to establish the run game. Philly should be a pretty good running football team, especially because Hurts has really good instincts. He's really good with the run pass option. He's really good with the triple option. Listen, they should be a better running football team, Von, but I'm worried about this coaching. I don't know if you're an Eagles fan or if you're not an Eagles fan, but you can't tell me that these are good game plans they have going into games. Even when they beat Carolina, I didn't really like their game plan. I felt like the Eagles played like a C game. So there's that. Madcapper, Jets will win, John. Can you come on here and tell us why? Sam Mason with the Stoke City. Oh, I used to love the way like Rory DeLapp would do those long throw-ins. I covered so many spreads betting Stoke City when they had Tony Poulos. Oh man, those are some fucking easy money days. Sam Mason says Bucks -9.5 or Bears +14.5. Okay, you're giving me an either or. Let me think. Bucks -9.5. Yes, in that one. I just had to do some math in my head. Okay. Pats -7. Daniel Galbraith. What's up, Daniel? Longtime subscriber. Will Bill really let the Pats lose this one? I don't think so. But also, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's more a Texans game than against the Buccaneers. I think it's more like that type of game for them. But we'll see. Yeah, I don't like betting against Bill Belichick, but sometimes you have to because they get overrated a lot, especially. Yeah, I feel you. Lauren Kaiser, Miami not getting the bye after London makes me nervous. Lauren, if you want to come on, you can come on because that's a good opinion. It is making me a little bit nervous too. And when you do bet 2 bad teams, it is dangerous. Like what Mike said, he says he doesn't like betting 2 bad teams. Like, listen, I get it, but I'm not going to leave that Jags game on the table against the Dolphins because both teams suck. But I get it. That's kind of like my dad's rationale when he gambles, and I get it. I get it. But Atlanta's a trainer. Like, I actually think they're worse than last year. Like, listen, Atlanta gets that rookie Pitts, the tight end. He's so damn good. He's so damn good. Yeah, Atlanta, they just keep getting worse, man. Jeff Hostler, how do you get signed up for Patreon? Jeff, link is in the description. Patreon.com/Lawson Show. And that's about it. That's about it. $5 a month. It's good. It's easy, man. I hate getting these weird text messages. So much spam out there. We got a $5 super chat from Revenant, wide receiver. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Would you consider doing a 3 to 5 team teaser for Patreon? Best sides and totals? Listen, I'll do it this week. A 3 to 5 team teaser on Patreon. I'm just doing it for you, bro, because you've been supporting this show for a long time. So, and hey, if there's a week to do it, to put on an extra teaser on Patreon, it has to be this week, right? With all these crazy point spreads. So yeah. I might even add in some over-unders this week. All right, I'll do it. I'll do that for you. But give me time to think. Maybe even give me to Saturday. The regular bets will be posted tonight, but maybe give me to Saturday. I'll get that up either tonight or Saturday. Diana Harris, Baltimore -6.5. I'm going to die on this hill. I get it. Like, I don't blame you. Sometimes you have to die on a hill. Sometimes you just have to choose your moments during the year. And if your read is good, you have to die on the hill. That's why I don't let stuff change my opinion. For instance, last night, posted the Browns game on Instagram, said it was a borderline money pick. Case Keenum will play well, and the Browns are on that rock. And in the comment section, of course, I'm going to get the stuff, well, more people are betting the Broncos, or the Sharps are taking the Broncos. Okay, but the Sharps aren't going to go on there on the field and change the game. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go with your instincts. If you got a gut, you have to go with it. You just have to go with it. But Diana, if it is your favorite team, always be cautious betting your favorite team. Always be cautious. I don't bet the Vikings too much. I bet them probably 3 times in the last 13 years. 2-1 on the picks. But that's how little I do. I only will bet on my team if I know it's a college fun game. Kevin Araújo. I say it the Portuguese way. I don't know if you want me to say it the Spanish way. Over under on the Lions Rams game. Well, let's go look at that right now. Let me go open up the live Vegas spread lines. I'm Vegas Insider. I always use Vegas Insider. You guys should be looking at Vegas Insider to know if you should wait, because some of these bookies, they post crazy shit, and you should always be looking at Vegas Insider to make sure you're getting a good point spread. Okay, so let's look at Detroit Rams over under 50.5. I'm leaning towards the over. I've been leaning all week. Still leaning towards the over. Think garbage time points are in play. Yes, Detroit's risky. Yes, there's some games Detroit only puts up 3 points. Yes, last week it was a money pick on the under for Detroit and Cincy. I did tell you guys that on the over-under video. But I think Detroit will be more competitive this week. I have a feeling. There's not a lot of evidence. There's not a lot of gut. I mean, I've kind of been different than the public on Detroit. Like, the public was really picking Baltimore to win in a cover when they played Detroit, and I had Detroit to cover. So I've been against the public with Detroit kind of this whole year. And then everyone got excited about Detroit after the Ravens game. Next week, I picked the team to cover against Detroit. And then the next week after that, people are still excited about the Lions, and then we hit the money pick with the Bengals. So we've seen this Lions hype go up, go down, and now it's flattening out. I think they play a little bit better this week. Not making any crazy. Yo, Von, thank you for joining Patreon. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. All right, Lauren, I'm going to send you the invite. I'm getting you on right now. Luca, thank you for joining the Patreon. Ruben, thank you for joining the Patreon. Tony M, thank you for joining the Patreon. Shout out to Tony Johnson. Thank you for joining the Patreon. I appreciate all of you guys. All right, we're going to get Lauren on here now. Let's see what she has to say. All right, Lauren, I'm going to send it to the email you sent me. All right, let's get it. Yeah, man, I'm excited this week. This is when it starts heating up. And you guys know I don't lie to you. I told you week five when we came out here, I told you this is when it starts. This is when shit heats up. And I was right. And we've seen it heat up these last 2 weeks. Hey, we started good with the Browns. I know some of you weren't on Patreon, so you weren't able to see that. My apologies, but, a boy's got to eat. Christina, what do you think about Stafford playing against his old team? I think it helps. And that's one reason why I'm going over. I think Stafford wants to put on a show, but I also think Goff wants to put on a show, and Goff has to be better. We know Detroit is trash, but they got some decent young pieces on offense. Like I like Swift, but he's always hurt. They got some decent young receivers, so Goff should be playing better. I think he will. And the Rams team, they don't have a lot of depth, and they need to be careful with injuries. So I think the Rams will use a lot of different players. I think they'll use a lot of different second stringers on defense, a lot more substitutions. I think that gives Goff some opportunity. And the Rams have to be smart. They got an old team, and also they don't have a deep team. When I say that, look at their second stringers. Look at their defensive line rotation. Look at their offensive line rotation. Look at their running back rotation. Look at their wide receiver rotation, okay? Outside of their big dogs, outside of their elite players, they don't got depth. They don't got a lot of role players. So that's one issue with the Rams moving forward. Are you going to be able to take advantage of it this week against Detroit? Not really. But I do think there will be some garbage points in play. We always got to bring up Case Keenum. Okay, Dig Dog 22. Hey, Lawson, what do you think about the Raiders at plus 800 to win the division? Chiefs and Chargers are very vulnerable this year. I don't like it. I wouldn't do it, but it is good odds, and the fundamentals are right, but I don't think this is the Raiders' year, especially with losing Chucky. I think eventually the Chucky stuff's going to have reverberations. And you guys who come on here and say, Chucky sucks, Lawson, or Chucky's all marketing. And listen, he is a little bit of marketing, but we have to market ourselves. Like Marty in Belize, he's 80. He's a great gambler. He's retired with gambling. He sent kids to college due to his gambling, but no one knows who he is besides me. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people all are marketing, but Gruden's an above average coach in this league, and it's tough to find an above average coach in this league. It just is, guys. It just is. And I think people don't like Gruden because he worked for ESPN. And that's fine. I get it. I don't like ESPN either. I know they would never give me an opportunity to have a show and support my family on there, but it is what it is, man. I don't like it either, but Chucky can coach better than most people. And then when you're looking at this AFC West, we're finally getting a real division. The Chargers can play. The Raiders can play. The Chiefs can play. Broncos are what the Broncos are, but the Broncos had a quarterback they could actually play too. So, yeah, I get the rationale. I think there's going to be a lot of upsets. Hell, even maybe the Broncos can pull an upset or two, even though, I never like the Broncos. But it's good. People like hyping up the Broncos, and we can bet against them, and we did that last year. Okay, I should have sent this Okay. Lauren, I sent the invite to you. Okay, she's on now. All right, let me just knock out one more question, and we're going to get Lauren on. And guys, my bad if I don't get to your questions. It's hard to see them. Okay. Lauren, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, I'm putting my phones in. How are you?
Okay, good. I hear you now. Yeah, dude, everything's going good. I'm excited for this. Well, this week's crazy. What are you making, since you like stats, what are you making of these big point spreads?
The big point spreads? Well, I mean, I'm always a revenge factor person. So the whole Rams thing, I can't believe in Detroit. I just can't. I can't believe in that team because it's just, I mean, if any team, if any bigger point spread I like, maybe Houston, just because it's so many and they might take out their guys after a while, and maybe some garbage fourth quarters. Houston in some games they hang around. If they don't get blown out, if they don't get blown out, they hang around to like the very end. So that'd be the only one that I could maybe fathom stomaching.
I mean, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Betting on really bad teams. Like, I don't mind betting on bad teams, like, but these really bad teams, it's complicated to gamble on, and I don't even know if there's a read.
Right. Yeah, it's just it's a tough thing. I mean, and the thing I was saying about Miami is, why aren't they getting a bye after London? Everybody else does. So
that's really cheap. That really is cheap.
Yeah, like who stuck it to them? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not a Miami fan, I mean, but sports in general, like I feel like someone stuck it to them, like, so that's what makes me a little nervous about them this week, though I think that, the mechanics and the right avenue, I agree with you. I just feel like them not getting a bye is a little, I don't know. I feel like that's a little, there's something weird about that.
No, Lauren, you're right.
After London,
Because if we learned anything from this email saga with Bruce Allen, and I don't know anything about Jeff Pash, all I know is the NFL has favorites, and they don't like Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross is quite active politically, so don't want to go into that on this show. But yeah, I think you're right.
It's just a weird, like, and I'm on the Miami side, so I'm on the Miami side with you. I'm just, I just have some major concerns about them traveling from London, and now it's not even a Monday game. It's still Sunday. Like, it's not, it's not, they shouldn't even be playing really, but it's not even like I said, it's not even a Monday game. It's still a regular Sunday daytime. I think it's even the 1:00 game, so I'm not positive on that.
And if and I don't want to go too off topic here.
Yeah.
But if they want to play international games, I really always thought Mexico City was a better bet than going.
We tried that.
Europe, but
I think we tried that once, didn't we, with Kansas City?
And the turf was bad.
And the Raiders.
It was Raiders against the Chiefs, and I think they had to delay the game or something crazy.
Then they had to cancel it. They had to move it. It was horrible. Like they couldn't get quality fields, which makes me wonder. Like the same thing with MetLife Stadium last year, that all those players got injuries after being at MetLife. Like remember, so there's obviously reasoning behind all that, but
it's crazy. And okay, about this Chiefs Titans game. This is one that has changed throughout the week. I think people are going a little bit too crazy with the Titans, saying that they can win this game. I don't think they will.
No.
I felt like they were rather lucky against the Bills.
Yeah, I was on the Bills. You were on the Bills. Bills should not have lost that game. That's kind of like you always say Sean Payton's your kryptonite. I guess, Tennessee and the Raiders are going to be, well, I'm sorry, Tennessee is going to be Buffalo's kryptonite, just like the Raiders are going to be the Chiefs, though more teams are starting to figure out the Chiefs because their defense is trash. Yeah. But in previous years, the only team really ever to figure out Kansas City was the Raiders. And, like last year, same thing with Buffalo. They got blown out by Tennessee. We talked about it last week, So, I'm going to go KC. I wouldn't waste a survivor pick on it. I wouldn't go that route. I think just Mahomes, if it's going to be a shootout, any shootout, I'm going to ride with Mahomes,
Yeah, and there's always a risk of blowout. So I don't even like putting the Titans on the tees.
I mean, the Jets beat the Titans, so why? I mean,
no, it happens every year. They show differently every game.
Yeah, they do, and it seems like they are worse against bad teams, and better. You know what I'm saying? Like they lose games they should win, and win games they should lose.
Can I just respond to this? Yeah, I agree. But I think that's one reason why some people like this station, because I think spending a lot of money on production value is kind of lame.
Is anyone really talking about that?
Yeah, people are obsessed with this. I don't know if you're like a neat person. You're more into gambling. But people get obsessed because I leave this drawer open.
Okay.
Some people, it makes them want to come in and clean my room.
I mean, if they're going to do it, why not? By all means. You can come clean my house too if you want.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, some people love cleaning. And I got to get your opinion on this since you're a Saints fan.
You're going to go the Saints game. I know. I knew you were going to the Saints game.
It's a very interesting game. And I think we could see a lot of different scenarios. But the only scenario I keep seeing is it's going to be close. Saints winning for late field goal.
Yeah, I will tell you, I do think that, let me look at my notes. I'm believed that I think Marcus Davenport and Quan Alexander look like they might be coming back on the defense. That's kind of big, especially for a backup QB, which I'm not hating on Gino because I was on him last week. You were on him. We were both on him last week. I actually picked them to win the game straight up, and they almost did. Yeah, it was. I actually picked them to win straight up, and they lost straight up. But I mean, I had them on the money line because I really thought they could do it, and they almost did. So
it's worth the dice roll when you get the.
It was.
What was it like? Plus 310 on the money line.
310. Yeah. So I was with them on it, and I almost hit on it. I'm not mad at the bet, but I think that the same thing I'm going to tell you that I told you before and everybody else. When you put a backup quarterback or a rookie quarterback against that Saints defense, they are in trouble. Because especially with some missing puzzle pieces coming, and I'm not the biggest homer on here, because I'm a Saints fan. I'm not going to talk like a homer. I'm going to talk just defense, straight defense. That's it. That defense is so destructive on rookie and backup. And we faced a lot of them this year already. And it's only week 7. So, you know what I mean? So, we beat up on Heineke. We beat up on Mac Jones. We're talking straight backup quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks. So, and I know we're the away team. We're giving up 4.5, I think.
Yeah, I moved down.
You moved 4.5. So I like the Saints side. Under 5, I like the Saints side. I know I'm gonna be the unpopular, pick, but I'm going and I think it's gonna be, raining from what I'm understanding. It's gonna be, which it's always raining in Seattle. It's no difference. But I mean, we went into Seattle and won with Teddy Bridgewater too, so I'm not going to, and that was also Drew Brees. That was a whole nother era, a whole nother everything, but a lot of that defense is still there.
Yeah,
And
I think the Saints are actually better now for that type of football. Like,
yes,
because
yes.
what you're saying is, and I noticed this with the Saints defense, you can't hide against them because one thing we get mad about on this show a lot is, like, let's say you're facing Teddy Bridgewater, or let's say you're facing Sam Darnold. I hate when teams play soft zones against them. The Saints don't let you hide. They're going to play press man to man, and Lattimore is going to get in your best receivers. John, it's just too much. And that's why I think the Seahawks have to run the ball. But the problem with the Saints is I think they're one of the most nastiest defenses in the league in terms of hurting people, and it plays a factor.
And really, who's running the ball for Seattle? Carson's still out. Alex Collins has got a neck problem, and he's hurt. And Rashad Penny is supposed to be getting activated off the IR, which he's probably the most fragile running back I've ever met. I've ever seen. Not met, obviously, but seen. So who's gonna run the ball? Like, I mean, we've got Alvin Kamara and a whole slew of other guys that apparently have shown up lately over there. And remember, Quan Alexander has played Seattle twice a year. He came from, San Fran. So if he's back, and it looks like Davenport's back, I just think that Saints defense is going to be too much for a guy who's played one game in 4 years,
Yeah, we can agree to disagree. I like your analysis, though, on that. And it's just a question. So do you think playing poker helps you bet NFL?
Who are they asking? Me?
No, someone was just asking that last time. We said you played poker.
I do.
So, do you think playing poker helps you bet the NFL?
I've been playing poker a lot longer than I've been betting the NFL. When everybody was learning how to play Go Fish and the Old Maid, my dad would teach me poker at 6. So
that's awesome. Poker's good for your brain.
Yeah, I do. I play a lot of poker, a lot of tournaments. I do. We actually have a rankings and stuff like that. So I'm in a league. But as far as helping with NFL, I mean, I don't know if it helps. I mean, but I think it definitely gives you're always going to use statistics in any type of betting, in my opinion. So statistics and, analytical strategies and things like that. If I was an NFL coach, maybe I would say that poker would maybe help my game. But I mean, you're going to use a lot of statistics in any type of betting. So maybe.
Here's why I like poker. And here's why I think it's good for people. I don't have a lot of time to go do it, so I'm not really into it. But I think it's really cool. I've always wanted to play at a real table. Never have in my entire life, believe it or not.
Stop it.
I need to. I've played online, but it's completely different in person. But also, I think the reason why I asked is because I think it's good for helping people learn how to bet.
Sure.
And what type of wager to put in. That's why I asked, because I think it's really good for that, just to get your brain moving in that direction. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't think too many of my viewers watch Jeopardy, but that show really helped me with when to go all in, when to.
Yeah. My husband gets so mad because we will play that stuff on the Wii, and we'll play Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and I'll be banging out the answers after one, and he doesn't want to play anymore. He gets so mad. But I've been doing crossword puzzles and stuff with my grandma. Like I started doing crossword puzzles when I was real young, like kindergarten, with my grandma and stuff, because she was heavy into crossword puzzles and Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. So, I've been doing that stuff a long time.
Yeah, makes sense. Any other thoughts on week 7?
I know everybody's kind of trashing the Eagles this week, and they're on the other side, but I'm not on Vegas this week. I'm not on Vegas. I think that the Eagles started to establish a run game last week. They actually, I think, rushed for 100 yards last week against Tampa. And they stayed within 6 points of Tampa. So if they can stay within 6 points of Tampa, I feel like they can do it with, the Raiders. And I think that's going to be the upset. Only because of that.
Don't you think maybe you're getting too greedy and we've used
Probably.
the Eagles as much as we possibly
I mean,
could have
I
used them
know
to this point?
I was on them against Carolina too,
Yeah, it was a
and
great pick. No,
I was.
because Michael Mann scared me off that money pick I had.
I know, and I mean, the Raiders, they love to make things dramatic. So, you know what I mean? So there's always some sort of dramatic fashion of overtime and just everything's so dramatic out there. It's always, if they were this, amazing team that's going to win, the AFC West, why am I so nervous every time they play? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get so nervous. It's never, it's the fourth quarter. It's always overtime. It's always this. It's always double overtime and missed field goals. And I just, so I can't, I'm over Vegas. Yeah, I'm over that.
Well, and I get what you're saying because this station, I don't know if you watched last year, but
yes, I did.
Oh, okay. So I think sometimes we have a bias towards the Raiders because it was really easy money, but we're not getting those days where they're going to the Jets like plus
no, not at all. And I'll tell you what, I like Washington with the 8.5. I'm on it. I might sound again.
Did you see it move down to 8?
Did it move down to 8? I see. I did it 2 days ago, so
that's.
Because
there's no injuries to watching the game, so that's not a game. Like I had to watch so many this Friday, waiting for injury reports to come out. That's why they're going to be late on Patreon. Not making excuses, but I have to see the injury report.
I know that Green Bay is Green Bay, and they're going to win the game. And I know Taylor Heineke is garbage, and we've already established that. But this Green Bay defense is absolute hot trash. They are going nowhere in the playoffs with that damn defense. And Aaron Rodgers is going to leave sour, sick, and mad, just like he did last year, because they'll make it to the playoffs. They might even make it to the championship game. They're not going to win. They're going nowhere because their defense is hot garbage. And let's be honest, they've got more injuries, and they're not even that good. Like Jair Alexander's out. Like I think Darnell Savage is out. The Kid King, something, he's out. Kevin King's. Yeah, they're all out. They're not playing. So,
I agree with it, and I'll go a step further with it. I've liked Washington all this week, but we really were on them in the preseason, and that didn't come to fruition because of Fitzpatrick. But I get what you're saying because Green Bay, I don't like going back into previous years with spreads. But at Lambeau against teams like Washington, Jacksonville came in there and covered a 10.5 a few years back. Lions covered last two times Lambeau, like in spreads like this. I don't know about this year. I'm just talking previous years. Anyway, to make a long story short, I feel what you're saying, and the Packers really are a team with 3 elite players, in my opinion. Aaron, Devontae Adams,
and Jones.
Then they got Jair Alexander. Alexander has hurt them. That injury has hurt them. So. Big time.
And look at, for example, we were talking about the buys, right? San Francisco's coming off a bye, right? So they got a bye last week, and now they're playing the Colts. Why is Miami not getting a bye this week? Why? I don't know. They went to London, for crying out loud. What did San Fran do? Like, you know what I mean? But whatever. But they're coming off a bye, so I think they're going to be a little bit more rested against that Colts game. I was on the Colts against Baltimore. I think you might have been too.
Yeah, it was on Patreon.
That's another Moneyline one that I lost. Probably should have won.
You got screwed on that one.
I did, but I mean, I was on the Colts then. I'm not really on the Colts this time, just because I think Elijah Mitchell's coming back. I think after a week on the bye, they put some things together. Jimmy G maybe not be that great, but somehow they always win with him. Why, I don't know, but they always do. I mean, they have a much better record when he plays. Maybe it's just the continuity of the team, but as bad as Indy has looked in some of these games, and San Fran held their own with Arizona with Trey Lance. Now they're coming off a bye. I don't know if I really want to touch the game because four seems like an awkward number. It's almost like that middle child syndrome, very awkward. You know what I mean? So I don't like the 4. I feel like you're going to lose both. You could lose either way. You could lose it. You could. There was a time last year when you could theoretically win the NFC North and still get a top 5 draft pick. You could host a playoff game and still walk away with a top 5 draft pick. Awkward. There's very awkward things that happen in this league sometimes. And this 4 with Indy, to me, is awkward.
It is. I completely agree with you. Let me just answer this. I think this is something you would like, actually. Hey,
What's
John,
up?
do you ever recommend team totals? Seems like at times the juice is more favorable and the pick is less risky. Yeah, especially if you've got a read on a team. It's just there's so much meat to bet. I don't get into that stuff until the playoffs. I should be doing better, though.
Now, I'll tell you, my dad, as silly as this sounds, he always told me if someone puts a gun to your head and you've got to bet the over or the under and you've got no read on the game, he says you bet the under because you're a winner till you're a loser. He says you're a winner till you're a loser.
It is true. It is true.
So not that I like that analytics, but this year the over has done good things for me. A lot of these high scoring games, especially the primetime games, I should say mostly the primetime games, the over has done very well. But I wouldn't say as we move on for the rest of the season and injuries and things like that, and we get into a lot more divisional games, like the NFC South has not even played each other except for Carolina when they beat up on the Saints. You know what I mean? That's the only, I think, NFC South game I've seen. So a lot of these divisional games, when they start to get a little bit closer, I think you're going to see some more games going under.
Makes sense. Lauren, thanks for coming on. What are you
getting
into? You're going to go play poker?
Yep, I got to be there in 45 minutes, so I'm going to leave shortly. I'm actually going to be up in Rochester next week. They're at this time, so I'll be up there for the weekend.
Might want to bring it might want to bring some sort of protection there.
I'm coming from Florida. I've already been told I need to bring my parka, so I'm a little upset. I guess I'm not taking my sandals on the plane with me, but
the weather has been surprisingly good up here, but yeah.
Until I get there, we will have some unforeseen snowstorm in October when I get there, because that's what happens every time.
Well, and I'm getting out of here before it comes. I'm getting out of here in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully you don't get it's cool. The casinos are good up here. There's a lot of marks, so I think you'll be able to find them.
Coming home to see my family for some other circumstances, but I'm excited to come up there. So I'll be watching the show in the same time zone as you guys for the first time ever, because even though I'm in Florida, I am in Central Time Zone because
you're in Pennsylvania.
I'm in the Panhandle. Yeah, and nobody ever believes me when I tell them. They argue with you on what time it is where you are, and it mind boggles me. They try to argue with you. No, it's 3 o'clock. No, it's not 3 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock.
I love Florida, but it's not for everyone. But I love
True. Very true. But thanks for having me. Good luck Sunday to everybody. Let's hope we all make some money. And I sent you my spread, so I'm waiting for you to give me your sprinkle before I send in my madness.
All right, sounds good. I will. I'll send you a message tonight.
All right, sounds good. I'll see y'all next week.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, let's get to some more questions because we're getting to the point where Oh, look at that. This is bold. Green Bay 52, Washington 16. I don't think I've seen Green Bay go over 50 in my life. And that's with Favre and Rodgers. Okay, let's get some questions. Bang. What could you possibly tease Indy to possibly cover with less risk? 10. 10 or 9. Maybe you could hit a 7 point. If the spread's still at 4.5, you can get that up to 11.5, and I would feel comfortable with that. Even with San Fran being on a mission and possibly dominating the game, I think you could still cover with 11.5, even worst case scenario. When I do the teasers, I always plan for worst case scenarios. That's just kind of how I am as a person anyways. You always got to prepare for the worst case scenario and try to get out the money. Terry, I liked more over this week than normal because Vegas has been adjusting. We hit a lot of unders the last 3 weeks. My over-under record's really good. Someone counts it up. I don't pay attention to it because I just do it to help you guys and so you guys can hear my reads. But the over-under, I've been hitting a lot of the unders you guys are saying for my over-under videos, but Vegas adjusted this week and the over-unders are lower than normal. So I had more overs, but normally I'm a person, I lean towards the under. Mike Black, Baltimore -6.5. Who you like? I don't like Baltimore at the -6. I think this is a one-score game. I think since he covers the +6.5, I think it's going to be a very close game. And we have to see Cincinnati's defense step up because we're seeing the Ravens get going, but we're also seeing Sammy Watkins with a knee injury. Latavius Murray's been huge. Latavius Murray, he's from where I'm from. He's one of the most underrated players in this league for so damn long. Yeah. Pringle just joined this week. Patreon. Thank you for joining Patreon, my friend. I really appreciate it. Patriots Moneyline, no. Listen, I get it. I get going Patriots Moneyline, and you're probably going to hit on that one. But I am feeling a Patriots game that is similar to when they played Houston. And that's not going to give anyone a lot of confidence, and you're going to have to sweat that out. But yeah, Patriots money line should come good. I don't know if the value is there unless you're putting that on a parlay and teaser. I think single bet, you should ask yourself, do I trust the Patriots -7? If you don't, maybe find some other meat to pick. Here we go. Carolina and New York Giants under. That over-under got really low. Let's see what that is right now. I'm curious to what that is. The over-under is 43. Yeah, I get you. Makes sense. I'm going to get to some more questions. Should be on here maybe 10, 15 more minutes. I'm actually sweating right now. You guys were great today. I appreciate all the questions. You guys come in with some really good questions. Cards will cover, bro, and Dolphins want to win. I need y'all to keep loading up on Miami Books. Going to have a field day with y'all. I don't think Atlanta's getting that much action, but yeah, that Miami one should come good for us, but we'll see. I'm still thinking about putting that on Patreon or not. All right, guys, questions are kind of slowing down. Hit the like button, share the videos. Best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money. Let's get paid. Hit that like button. Check out Patreon. Only $5 a month. Easy. And I post every bet I do. I will be posting a Patreon picks 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. Plus, I'll be posting a special 3 to 5 team teaser Patreon exclusive Saturday. Hit the like button, share the video. Guys, I appreciate you, all the support. I'll answer Jordan's question before I get out of here. What do you think of the cards being teased down to -9.5? I like it. What's up, Eddie? I'm just getting off now. Eagles versus San Fran. Okay, now the questions are coming. I'll stay on a few more minutes if we got questions. Eagles versus San Fran. Eagles are you talking next week, Manny? Eagles are playing the Las Vegas Raiders. I like the Raiders in that one. I do. I do really like the Raiders in that one. We've been riding Philly all year, and Philly's won us some good money, but I am worried about the coaching of Philly. I kind of sound like a broken record, but I really broke down the film of Nick Sirianni, and I don't like that Eagles scheme. I don't like how they're running the ball. I don't like how he's working with Hurts. Listen, everyone wants to throw dirt at Hurts, and I understand he's not a great passer from the pocket. He makes some stupid decisions, but Hurts is an absolute warrior. You have to use his legs. You have to let him throw deep. You have to put him in heavy shotgun sets. Let him do a read option. Let him get out of the pocket. Give him some options to get the ball out of his hands quick. Nick Sirianni's just not doing enough. I think the Raiders win in the cover. I think that Eagles defense will spend too much time on the field, and that's why I like the Raiders. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the videos. You guys are the best. I appreciate everyone who signed up for Patreon today. We got Jeff Hostler. He's just joined. We got Juan Samalat. He's just joined. We got Money Beasy. He's just joined. KJ11 just joined. I appreciate everyone who joined Patreon, everyone who hits that like button. Have a great weekend, guys. You'll be hearing from me on Patreon.